Fine, been running for a while. Okay. You've got your forge put together. We're pulling the front door here, and we're going to begin to add the refractory material. Now, what we've got is we've got one hard fire brick here that we use as your hearth. Okay, these are the parts we put the metal in and out on. Now, the kaolin wool, however, has a much higher insulating factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, and this is the way the roll comes, and the roll has been cut to length. So we're going to put it in so the kaolin wool goes all the way across the bottom, comes up the side, comes across the top, and comes down, and doesn't quite fit in a corner. And then we're going to lay the brick in and nestle it so it fits correctly, and then we can slide the front door in. Before we actually get the front door in, though, we're going to come back and we're going to mark it really gently, and we're going to cut the opening for the burner to go through it. Okay, so you've got your mask on, you've got your gloves on. Don't eat it or wallow it around a little bit, but if you'll just start laying it in there. Okay. Now, since you want it to insulate as much as possible, you don't have to mush it much more than you have to. It's just kind of tuck it in. Oh, look, there you are. Okay. Now, we look in the back here. Okay, we're going to see we've got an area here that we need to go down and go below that door right there on this side, and then that'll let the bottom go down and let the bottom come in. Okay. Now, David, we're going to have to cut this right here, aren't we? Okay. Okay. You've lined the outside. You've got the fire brick in. Everything looks good in place there. Now, we do put in an additional piece of kaolin wool in the back. Is at some point in time, you're going to want to raise this old door up about 1 inch and slide a knife blade or a piece of sock through there. This piece of kaolin wool, it just fits. Okay, right there. Well, see, if we pull that up 1 inch, okay, it's going to mash the Satanite part and cause some problems here. So what we're going to do is we compromise. Okay, if you'll just take your knife and cut about 1 inch off that block right there, what we're going to do is we're going to Satanite that piece in place, and that'll give the door room to move up and down. You want to go ahead and reach in there and tuck him in correctly. We'll get ready to put some Satanite on it. And at the top. You want it to lift to the top. Okay, let's see where you're at. Oh, perfect. And now if you'll notice, if you wiggle your door a little bit, look inside. See, your door can come up and go down. With it. It dropped it down just a little bit. Let me turn you back. You're fine. Okay. When we put the Satanite in there, that'll take care of it. That's beautiful. Okay, let's mix up some Satanite and line it.
Okay.
I would recommend, this is your Satanite, it's a gray finely ground powder. I would put about half of the Satanite, okay, or about 1/2 pound into a small bowl like this, okay. Now, if something happens, that gives you half of it, okay, to hold in reserve. If you get this too thin, you can work around that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slowly begin adding a little bit of water, okay. You want it about the consistency of pancake batter or just a little thicker, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to cover all those surfaces on the inside of that with the Satanite, okay? Now, if you don't want to slop up too bad, you can stir with figure-8 motion, okay? If you want to go ahead and stir that up. Now, when she applies this, she's going to come in. There's no need to apply to the brick here, but what we want to do is we want to start right here at the brick surface, and we want to go around the entire interior of the kiln. And I'm picking off and tucking back up anything that's hanging, because when this hits the surface, it will soak into it and make like a coating, and that's exactly what it does. It allows the fibers to do their insulating purposes, but it coats them and protects them so they don't just fly away.
So you actually want to put a firm pressure down as you pull it, otherwise you pull fibers up.
Oh, there you go. Okay, great.
I see what you mean.
I think you got it.
Okay.
Wiggle it up through there. Oh man, okay, that's perfect, yeah. And just seal that, let it kind of load into those joints if you want to.
Okay.
And then we tuck the sides out so you don't hang them. This way when you're taking steel in and out, you don't hang them. Oh man, look at that. Awesome, if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. All right, you can take off your gloves and mask now.
Okay.